Hi guys, this is Jason here from the Nathaniel School of Music, and in this video we are going to talk about a little on bass lines, how you can start using them in your piano playing, and also we will talk about some important rhythmic techniques used in rock music like syncopation and also maintaining a steady pulse. So for this tutorial, the chord progression which I've come up with is just a C seventh chord. So you basically play that 8 times, and then you're playing basically a C minor sixth with an F bass. Or you could maybe even call it a F ninth if you wish, since you're adding the dominant seventh and the ninth here. So in the right hand you'll basically be playing if you observe the way I'm voicing the F chord, I'm not really playing the F in the right hand. I'm going to be doing that here in the bass. So you don't really need to play the root note in both hands, especially when you're running out of fingers, which in this case I am. So again, the chords C seventh and F ninth. So to create this steady pulse in rock and roll, in rock music in general, we don't play the chord in a very, robotic way. You could, but what you normally may want to do in styles like this, which are a lot more percussive, would be to play it in different accents. So you could play one chord loudly and the other chord softly, like this. So it creates a nice bouncy kind of effect which really defines the genre. And you could also maybe play triplets and develop divisions of 3. Right? So this is about the right hand. So the right hand is all about maintaining a steady pulse which is also dynamic. The way I look at my right hand sometimes while playing rock music is like how a drummer plays a hi-hat or a right cymbal, wherein they hit it at a very steady pulse, but yet they have so many variations. Like a hi-hat could be closed, it could be half open, or they could do some accents by opening it and closing it with the foot. And you could also do various different sounds on the right cymbal as well. So that's the same thing we can do on the piano, keeping a very steady, focused pulse, playing the chords which we have to play, which are C seventh and F ninth in this case, and at the same time playing the pulse in a very interesting, dynamic way by adding different accents to your performance. So here are a few tips on playing your bass parts. Most predominant notes which you would choose are the root, the octave, and the fifth. So for example, if you're playing an F chord maybe in the right hand, let's say you're playing an F ninth, the root is F, the octave is again F, which you play here, and then you play the fifth, which is C. So you could create a pattern. I sort of think that this is the kick and this is the snare, and I try to create a pattern between the root and the octave, or bringing in the root and the fifth, and so on. So if I start this off on C, get more interesting. And then you could also add the fifth note of the chord, which will be G for the C chord, to add some extra flavor to the performance. So it's basically toggling between the root, fifth, and the octave. And I try to look at the root generally like a drummer approaches the kick drum, and I try to look at the octave or the fifth like how a drummer would approach perhaps the snare drum, and so on. So the other thing you could do to add flavor to the bass line is to add some chromatic passing notes. You could add E flat going to E. And you could also work on your independence by trying to give yourself a few more challenges which maybe are out of your comfort zone. Like I was practicing this bass line recently, and it actually was quite a challenge because it was easy to play it only in the left hand. Possible to do it here, but then when the right hand comes in, there's the coordination challenges. So you should try and challenge yourself that way, to try and add different accents, to try and add different subdivisions in your left hand. So the whole thing will sound something like this. Faster. So when you're practicing this exercise as a piano player, feel free to practice it on any piano sound, not only like a grand piano sound. You could try it out on a an upright sample like this, or you could even try it out on an electric piano like a Rhodes EP. It sounds quite good on those as well. Or perhaps even on a clavinova sound, which is made popular by artists like Stevie Wonder and George Duke. You get the idea. So feel free to explore it. So that was about the exercise. The gist was creating a steady pulse in our right hand with a lot of dynamics, and then adding some interesting bass lines to that steady pulse to probably support the rest of your band and allow a groove to be formed, and then put a tune on top of that. So hope you guys found that tutorial useful, and if you have any other questions or requests for further instruction, do let us know on our YouTube channel, and also follow us on Facebook for regular updates. Cheers.